Thank you for joining us today. This is CCE Studios and Productions. We're here again with something powerful for you. Ensure you like, you share, you subscribe. CCE Studios, equipping the total man, body, soul, and spirit. Ensure you like and you share. Subscribe. Yes, subscribe. Make sure you share it. I'll see you soon.
Your success and your responsibility are connected. The more responsible you are, the more successful you will be. Amen.
Amen.
At what age should I take responsibility? For instance, growing up in Africa, you'd hear a lot of people tell you, "Oh, you are young. You don't need to serve God now. You can handle that later. When you're much older, you can use the rest of your life to serve the Lord." That's an irresponsible statement.
Yes, sir.
So can you tell us, is there a specific age to become responsible?
Age is not a barrier if only you can cope.
Wow. Age is not a barrier.
Age is not a barrier
if only you can cope.
if only you can cope. So age does not matter at all when it comes to responsibility. In as much as you find yourself in this world, especially in this present dispensation, you must be able to place a responsibility on something, and you must be responsible.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where you're watching us from, and welcome to Faith Formation. Welcome to an episode of Faith Formation, and this program is about equipping individuals for a holistic life. I'm your host today, Priska Katunga. Before we continue, join us as we say a word of prayer. Father, we thank you for this opportunity to learn at your feet once more, God. We pray that each and every one of us shall receive a word in the name of Jesus, and may you be glorified. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today we have in the studio today Mrs. Neche and Mr. Harris. Today we'll be talking about discovery. So as we begin, Mrs. Neche, could you just introduce yourself to us a little bit?
Before the program started, I kind of asked myself this question. So I concluded that discovery is learning. If you want to switch the words, you can say discovery is learning. Like she said, it means it's there. But now it's your turn to learn about what you have and put it to use. I believe discovery doesn't end because learning doesn't end. So it's really a large
discovery is very broad, and today we'll be talking about specifically the road to discovery. So when I was thinking about the road to discovery, you have to take the first step on that road. So what do you think is the first step in the journey of discovery? What is the first step you take before you start discovering something or start walking down that road of discovery?
Okay, I think let me bring it down to a particular path, because when we say discovery, we can be discovering a kind of plant, we can be discovering a lot of things, but I think that the main thing we're talking about here today is discovering of a person, of an individual. So the first thing that someone has to do to discover themselves is to understand who they really are. I think that's the first step to get into that discovery. And as a human, we have different areas that makes up someone. And some of these areas, first of all, is the physical part. And then we have the spiritual, we have the emotional, we have the psychological path, we have the financial path, we have the spiritual. So these areas, for you to first of all get into discovery, is for you to be aware that there are parts of these areas of you that exist. So the awareness of that, I have these areas in me to discover. That is the first truth, the first step to actually get into discovery.
That's powerful. The first step to discovery is awareness. I hope you've written that down. We're going to be having a youth conference very soon as CCE. The convention is targeted towards the youth as a whole, and we're young people here. So, as a young person in this generation, what are the areas of discovery that we need to focus on in this generation?
Okay, I won't rely it only on this generation, I say. I think most people feel like when you get to a certain stage, like what Brakari said, when you get to a certain stage, they feel that there is nothing to discover anymore. But even as you change, even as you merge up to the level which you are, you're discovering the new phase that you are entering. So this new phase are shaped by what we experience. They are also shaped by the new revelation we have about the things around us. So another part I forgot to talk about is the environmental part of discovery. So the youth that we are looking into here for the youth convention is not just narrowed down to people that are single, let me say it, because some people feel like that once you married, for example, you cease to be a youth. And I think that is a very wrong conception about what a youth is. If you're able...
Do you think, okay, so that means you disagree with the notion that there's an age limit for youth? Because I had to go to the internet to check this out. So I discovered that according to the UN, that's United Nations, it says that the age range for youths is between ages 15 and 24.
I think if we start categorizing it to that age, I don't agree with them. Yeah, I don't agree with them. If we start categorizing it to that age, that means we are taking out a lot of people who are still evolving with themselves. So when we're talking about youth, we're talking about people who are sound physically, mentally, people who can reason, that I think that the age of youth should get up to like 35 at least, or 40. Because some people at 35 are still trying to discover themselves, and that doesn't stop them from being a youth, because they have gotten to a certain age when they can actually perform exactly the same way someone who is 18 years can perform. And they are even more advanced because now they understand there is a direction which they are going, and it's very precise. They understand the road to where they are going. So I think I don't agree with the UN. I don't know if someone would take me up for that word. I don't agree with them. I think the age range, it's actually more than 24.
I think
That is what I believe, anyways.
that's powerful. What I took from that is that anybody who's able-bodied, mind, physically, anybody who is still capable of achieving a lot of things physically, mentally, spiritually, is should be
I will
considered
consider.
part of the
Yeah,
youth.
I would say.
And so, as young people, like we've been taught that we have this pressure that's been put on us to achieve in many areas of our lives, academically, ministerially, in our careers, business, in every areas of our lives where there's so much pressure on us to achieve in all these different areas. So how do you know which area that you should focus your discovery on? Because am I supposed to be discovering which ministry I'm supposed to be in? Am I supposed to be discovering my business direction? Am I supposed to be discovering my talents? What am I supposed to focus on specifically? Yeah.
I think the first question is what is lacking? What don't I know? When we are trying to focus on one aspect without knowing the other part, something is missing. Now, when I talked about the areas to be discovered, it's the area that makes up a human being. That is when I talked about the emotional, the financial, the physical. These are components that makes you who you are. So if I just focus on achieving a career, for example, and I'm not trying to discover what is my emotional limit, then something is wrong, because I might be successful career-wise, and then I'm lacking emotionally, and one thing can crush me even with my career, and I can't stand up from there, because there's a hole there that needs to be filled. So I don't think that a specific area should be focused on if the other one is not discovered. So I think as you're trying to discover yourself career-wise, you should try to discover yourself spiritually. You should try to discover yourself emotionally and environmentally. Where am I? Who am I surrounded with? So this comes in a whole, it's every area altogether. So I think that pressure of achieving something comes with the fact that without the word purpose, then it's like you're just existing. You wake up each day and there is an emptiness. What am I waking up for? Why shouldn't I just sleep? So for you to get to a point where you wake up each morning and there is something, you mean something to someone somewhere at some point. So I think that is what people strive for. And the pressure comes with when we start seeing what our mates are doing, and we start measuring up where I should be with where that person is at that point in time. That is where the pressure comes. So I think people should strive to discover themselves and be better version of themselves, but not on a pressure level, because you are bound to make mistakes and miss some steps if you're pressured while discovering yourself.
I think something that you said was very powerful, that the area that you should be trying to discover is the area where you're lacking, where you see that this area is struggling. That's where you should be putting your effort and energy on trying to figure out. So how do you even discover that this specific area of my life is lacking, or this area I'm not doing very well? How does that discovery happen?
Okay. The discovery happens when you actually know what it should be like. If I don't know what my spiritual life should be like, then how will I know there is something I should find? So if I understand what that means, there should be like a model that I'm looking at, someone or something that I'm trying to mirror the behavior from, right? So when we understand what we're actually supposed to be in that area, then we can know what to strive for in that particular place.
Thank you so much, Ma. One question that I have is, on the road to discovery, what are the biggest, let's call them roadblocks, limitations, blockages to discovery? Karis, you could start us off. What is the biggest, as a young person, what is the biggest roadblock to discovery in our generation so far?
Well, yeah, for young people, like like us.
Hello, welcome back. We're very sorry for that shortcut in transmission. So we'll be continuing. Very sorry for that. So the question that I had asked just before the short break was, what are the biggest roadblocks to discovery currently in our current generation? And I was asking Brookhurst. You can take over from there.
So first of all, I believe one roadblock is a negative mindset. That's for, let's say, us in our Gen Z era. We have a lot of people that don't even believe in themselves to start with. So if you don't believe in yourself, how do you want to discover what is in you? So we have a lot of people with negative talk, negative mindsets of, I cannot blow, I can't do this. So if we have people talking bad about themselves, I don't believe you can discover what you are not concerned about. You can't pass a subject if you don't like the teacher. So that's one roadblock, I believe. Secondly, I believe that there's less attention paid to the kind of association we keep. There's something we discussed of recent, a group of us, and it was branding by association. Branding by association in the sense that let's bring it down to the word peer influence, the phrase peer influence. So you see that if you are hanging around people, like you care so much of how they think about some things, you would not want to, like, if I can't be business driven. Let's say God's call on my life is to be a businessman. I can't be business driven if I'm staying with someone that doesn't even care about going to school, and that person is my tight friend, that person is my close friend. So the kind of association too we keep hinders us from discovery. My third point, let me give my final point. I heard a man of God saying that he went to pray or to think at the seaside, and he said that God should give him somewhere he can fail, because from his failures he finds his strength, and he is able to capitalize over them. Most youths don't like challenges, and even from that we discover that most youths still fail to take correction. It might not necessarily be that the youths are lazy to the challenges, but when they fail or when they do something wrong, some people don't take heed to the corrections. So if there are people ahead of you that have discovered themselves and they are still in the process of discovering themselves, because remember we said discovery is a long process and you can't finally learn, you can't finally discover yourself, you can't discover entirely who you are. So if there are people ahead of you and they've corrected you in your challenges, you've gotten into a challenge and the challenge has hit you hard and you've fumbled, you've fallen regular. That it happens to everyone. You've fallen from a challenge and you have taken correction, and this correction pricks you. in the words of one of my pastors, he says you'll be a fool to ignore this correction. So it's right, or it's better if you actually take these challenges as a gift. Nobody wants to hear that, actually. Not everybody wants to hear that, but you take these challenges because you know at the end of a challenge there has to be results, especially if you are committed and mindfully aware. Put your mind to everything. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mommy.
Yeah, and I think that there are 2 points I want to add to that. And the first one is acceptance. Most people find it difficult to accept the person they are at that time. They don't want to accept the situation, the level they are to discover more. Another one is contentment. Some of the word, one of the word we use, basically in psychology, we say learned helplessness, right? So they are in that position and they are so contented with the level they are that they don't want to discover more.
They used to say, if I'm broke, it's my business.
Yeah. So they are there. They don't feel stuck. They don't feel that they are in the wrong place. They don't feel that they are doing bad for themselves. They feel, oh, I'm existing. Okay, I don't really care. I'm okay the way I am. So all those things are stumbling blocks that stops people from their road to discovery. Definitely.
What I got from both of you is that I heard a wise person say that we live in a fast food generation. Everybody wants things quickly, and they're not willing to work through it. They're not willing to go through the process of actually getting to. They can't pay the sacrifices that people have paid to get to where they are. And that's in many areas in business. They expect things to just fall on their laps, and if it doesn't fall, they complain. So yeah, that's what I got, and I think that's very powerful. And something that you said, Karis, brought a question to my mind, looking up to people who have already gone through it or who have started the process or in that process, and it's the role of mentorship. I know that Mrs. Paul, that you are a music minister, you are an author, you are a wife, you are a psychologist, you are a PhD, you're working towards your PhD. So in all these different areas of your life, did you have mentors? Do you have people who you looked up to that helped you in this journey to discover you to where you are right now?
Okay, that's a very good question. But for me, I didn't really have, I wouldn't say I have, like, it's recently, mentorship is very good, but it's recently that I started trying to look into other people's life to try to see if, okay, maybe this person I can, learn from one or two persons. I think I learned most of the things I learned from self-reflection. Like I try to evaluate myself. Most times I think about the things I do almost each day. So at the end of the day, sometimes my brain just goes through almost everything I said, everywhere I went to for the whole day. So personally, I didn't really have a mentor, so I don't really know what to say about that. But in a nutshell, mentorship, it's very good, because if you don't understand, and it helps you to grow faster, because instead of you to try to discover everything yourself, it will take a longer time, because then you have to possibly reflect more, you have to make some mistakes most of the time, and so on and so forth. But with a mentor, those will I use those bumps that you meet on the way will be removed from the experiences they've had. So mentorship is something I would recommend for someone. If you really have someone that you can call a mentor that can help you, I think it's something you should subscribe for. It's good.
Thank you so much, Miss. Mr. Karis, what about you? I know that you play the saxophone. It didn't just happen overnight. You play very well. You're a minister of God, and I know you're working towards your undergraduate. So what has been the role of mentorship in your life, in these areas of your life?
To the glory of God, I am grateful that God has really surrounded me with people who have gone through these stages. Mentorship is very prominent in my life. My elder brother used to tell me, every day, make sure you listen to one great man speak. At least one great man speak. Mentorship doesn't have to be on a direct contact basis. You can't be what you don't admire. You can't say that, let's bring it, you can't say that, you can't say a pastor and you say you want his anointing, or you want to have the same fire, you want to carry similar fire with him, but you are not admiring it. You're just saying it. I don't think it works that way. So, yes, you might not like what Mrs. Paul said. She didn't have someone straight up that she could talk to. But if you look deep, mommy, if you look deep into your life, if you look deep into her life, you would see that there's this common factor in every stage she was. There was this person that she was maybe looking at, or there's this company or anything. For me, I have people I look up to that help me pattern my life in a particular way. Most times when I'm about to do some things, I would usually think, would this person do this? What would this person do before doing this? Or would I do this if this person is here? So these are other ways you can use to pattern these are other ways you can classify mentorship. It doesn't have to be direct. Like, it's good to have someone that you are accounting to, someone that is responsible for you, that you can call. But not everybody might have the privilege. So you have to. It's a modern world. There's YouTube. you can find anything. You can find the answer to anything. You just need to go through the process. If we're going back to discovery, we have to go down the road. Some people don't like doing it the hard way, but you have to do it the hard way. The hard way is not always the sweet way, but you have to, because you get results from doing it that way. Thank you.
That's amazing. I remember that somebody was telling me that everything we have is at the click of our hand. Anything we want to learn, we have YouTube, we have Google search anything you're trying to find out, and it'll be there. So it's important to use this technology that has been given to us to find out these things that we're trying to understand. And on this road of discovery, like we mentioned earlier in the program, that there's many different areas of our lives that we're trying to discover. So are there specific areas in your life specifically right now that you're on the journey to discovery of?
Yes. That would be more of the spiritual path. I would say that is where I'm trying to discover more. Because what happened, right? Like you said, I'm an author, like I write, and I'm also a music minister. These things did not happen at once. You understand me? So I started at first. What happened from the beginning was I was going to be a psychologist. That was the main plan. And with time, I had to answer the call of being a music minister. And I started looking into it. But before then, I just all of a sudden saw that I have interest in writing. And I found myself, okay, let me write a book about, this particular part that I felt that, okay, this part is where people don't really understand. I think that's what came about my first book, basically. So when I felt like, okay, I have gone through this stage, and then I know some things. I won't say I know everything. I know some things that I can put down in a book, and then that's what came about me being an author. So I think that there are definitely some part of me that I'm still discovering. Apart from the business part, that one has always been with me. That one has always been with me. I'm always doing something different at different time of my life, But there is definitely something. For now, I'm trying to dig deeper into my spiritual understanding. I think that is where I'm trying to build more.
That's amazing. And one question that came to my mind while we were speaking is that we've been using the word road, process, journey to talk about discovery. So, the word discovery in itself means that it's already been discovered. You've already found that thing. I remember looking for the definition of discovery on the dictionary in Google, and it says that something that has been discovered. Like, discovery is when you've discovered something. So is discovery a journey? Is it a process, or is it a destination? Can you say, I've discovered this, that's my discovery? Or is discovery a process or a destination?
That is a very smart question. So I wouldn't say it's. I think I would say it's a destination. You know, what I would say is a destination is that you're getting somewhere. There is an end road there that you find. It doesn't matter. I think why people will also say is a process. I think it comes with two ways. Is that there are areas that you will still discover, but in a particular area, there's an end road to it when you finally found that thing about you. So what happens is that after you've discovered that, what happens is that you evolve in that particular area. So I think that is my idea. I don't know if Brakaris has something else to say.
I wanted to say something, but it felt like I was about to drop one pickup line. I wanted to say, I feel discovery is not, it's a process, it's a road, but it's also a lifestyle. Because in the process of discovery, you don't only learn stuff, you unlearn some stuff. So it's really, you can't say I have reached the end of my discovery, because the person that probably discovered the light bulb, maybe people in that era could have thought, okay, that's our light source, but we have other things that people do with lights. Like we have lights, we have colored lights. Maybe he assumed, okay, I can only get one color of light. Maybe he didn't think. So I'm still so sure that even from what we have now, we can get others. We have solar, we have lights that are not gotten electronically. We have lights from the sun, like solar. Yeah. So we have, discovery doesn't end. That's why it's discovery. It's not discovered. So it's a lifestyle generally. Yeah.
To prove what both of you said together, like what is coming to my mind is that at every end of the road is like another road. For instance, he discovered the light bulb, but now we have chandeliers, and now we have colored lights. So there is never an end, because there's always something more that you can find.
It's like people that when they graduate from secondary school, they start shouting.
I've not seen the other side. I've not seen the other side. I know when he was talking, something came to my mind when he talked about you learn and unlearn. The process of even unlearning is also learning itself.
Yeah.
Because it's difficult to unlearn some things that you've learned. So you have to learn to unlearn and learn to learn.
Yes.
You know. So like you said, it's actually a process, and you evolve. Even when you get to that part of discovery, you evolve more and more. You have varieties of that things you've discovered.
Wonderful. We're going to go on a short break right now, but don't leave. We'll be right back. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, I'm Jason and I'll be speaking with
Gislen.
My name is Ifeoluwa.
Simon.
Sister Tekla.
What generation would you categorize yourself as? Are you a millennial, are you Gen Z, or are you before that?
I would say I'm a millennial generation.
The millennium generation.
Jay-Z.
Obviously, Gen Z.
Okay, so what's special about the Gen Z?
You know, like the millennial and everything, they have to struggle to get a lot of things. But now, like in Gen Z generation, it's actually very easier. Like for technology and all these things, it's easy.
To me, I'll say maybe because of the modern technologies and new stuff coming out, it's better than the millennial and the rest. Yeah.
You've been for some time, so you get to know so many things that those in the Jay-Z don't really know.
People from that generation range got a lot of experience and are exposed to a lot of things that will help them proceed in the future.
You are aware of so many things.
Okay. Are you aware of the youth convention that we're going to be having on the 22nd of April?
Yes, I am.
What would you like to see implemented in the program for the youth convention?
Drama, some activities, and then business, starting up your own small stuff, business, to help people know what they can do on their own.
There should be, if there are drama or there are other things, they are going to do all these activities, there should be a little touch of Gen Z, so to make it interesting, there should be a little touch of Gen Z and a teaching about discovering purpose.
I believe there are so many people that are still blind when it comes to purpose discovering, and we are so glad that actually the team is discovery. So I really want to do a talk on purpose to actually let people know the reason why they were created.
It would be so great if they would like awakening the giant in women, giving them self-discovery, making them to know that they're embedded with so many potentials. Because when we look at a woman has a connective mindset. So I, for one, I would like that teachings like empowering women, awakening the giant in them, giving that sense of belonging should be taught, be it business, school, whatever thing they desire to empower themselves in. That teachings like this should be given to women, empowering them to do the self-discovery by themselves.
Join us for our first ever youth convention happening on the 22nd of April. There'll be a lot of music, drama, dance, talk, food and fun. God bless you and see you there.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for coming back and joining us for the remainder of this program. So we're going to start focusing on something that I'm very excited about, the first ever youth convention of CCE. I hope all of you are very excited and very expectant. And here we have with us one of the lead planners of the convention, which I am so excited so that you can ask all the questions that you have on your mind. I know I have many questions, and I'm very excited to be a participant of this incredible event. So my first question to you, Mrs. Paul, would be, what is the aim of this youth convention?
Yes, the aim of this youth convention is to bring the youth together, rub minds, help them in those areas of discovery we're talking about, so that they will learn and unlearn the things they've learned about themselves. You know, so the youth convention is for them to discover a better version of themselves, or to help them to know how to discover those parts of themselves that they need to know about to help them grow.
I also think I'm excited though. I'm excited for the convention because I think it's also an avenue for a lot of young people to gather, because the person sitting next to you might be the solution to your problem. It might be the person with the $1 million you're looking for. So it's really at the beginning of this year, our church at CCE Ministries, our church, we were going through a process of discovering ourselves, because this is our year of performance. So we were going through a series of ways to discover ourselves. I think this is just like when you wrap your shawarma or you wrap your kebab. So yeah, so this is our way of wrapping it up together. I really look forward to the program, really, honestly.
Me too. And I know that we called it a youth convention, so I just want to clarify, who is this convention for?
You know, before Mr. Karras was trying to limit it to people that are from 15 to 24.
It's United Nations.
How we are going to do? Okay, those that are from 25 to, like 35 to 40. What happens to them? This will make us feel old. So I think this is for everyone who is within the age of, let's say, 15, 16 to, 35. It's okay to 40. Let me just put it there. But once you know that you're strong enough to be a participant of this convention, I think it's going to bless lives in every way. There's going to be sessions and speakers that are going to help people to understand in depth of some areas that they feel that something is lacking. Although this convention, we're trying to have a little bit of focus, because when we also talk about youth, we also think about the future. So who are the future now? So we're talking about the Gen Zs, right? So even though we all are invited, even if you feel you are no longer, or you're not a Gen Z, or you feel like you are in Gen X or Y, I tell you, you can come and have fun and sit down. But we are trying to also build the minds of these Gen Zs, for them to understand that for you to grow normally, all round and develop to a full human that is bringing something to the table. Not something to the table just, to bring money or resources, no. But emotionally, you're strong. Financially, you're capable. Otherwise, environmentally, the people you surround yourself with, you understand that they are vital and you need to select them. So with these Gen Zs, we're trying to help them shape the way they should view life and everything in general. So it's going to be a lot of things to learn from this convention.
Sorry, I wanted to say that those people who think they're not in those people who think they're not in Gen Z, please, you can also come, or you can come financially too, because we would really support, because you can actually be the one to invest in someone's dream. Yeah, I believe someone will be happy that you have invested.
So like
in
networking.
Yes. You can if you feel that you don't want to engage in youthful activities.
Don't make people feel old.
Yeah.
Don't make, please.
Yeah, no.
Don't make. Okay. The main, I wouldn't say the main, but the main focus, it's the Gen Zs. But please, if you are in Gen Y, you're in Gen X, you can come and sit down and
it's
have
all
fun.
about discovery.
Because when you actually move around with these Gen Zs, right, you start feeling young again. If you feel you're not young enough. So you start feeling like, okay, I understand what is happening around me, because the person beside me is someone who is in their, early 20s. So I can actually talk with them and start speaking like them.
And to help you to even understand the reason why some of them do some of the things they do.
So you heard it. You've heard it from one of our main planners of the event, that it's for everybody. Everyone is welcome. Come and feel energized. Come and feel youthful. Come and feel involved in the future of our generation. And something that Brokara said that's also very, very important to note is that you can come even ready to find somebody to mentor. You're more welcome to find somebody who you can invest in. You can find somebody who's passionate about something, business, ministry, and say, this person, I want to mentor them. At least to where I am, I can bring them to where I am. So come expectant, anybody and everybody. And so something else that I want to ask you, Mrs. Paul, is what should we expect to learn from the Youth Convention? What are the topics? What are the areas that we expect to be educated in?
I mentioned some of them before, but I'm going to emphasize on it. We are going to be touching every areas that make up a person. So we are going to be touching the psychological path. We're going to be touching the financial. We're going to be touching a lot of areas, that is going to help someone. Even the areas of self-discovery, we're going to look into that. So not just about the areas we're going to talk about, is what you're going to learn even without being spoken to. If you are there and you are someone who doesn't know how to relate with someone else, because yes, that this convention is being hosted by our church, but it's open to every youth in Northern Cyprus. So you're coming to meet someone you've not seen before. You're going to learn how to interact with people that you've not interacted with before. So you're going to see a new face that you have to speak with. So all this learning, even when you feel you're not learning anything, something is actually going on in your brain, right? So there's a lot of things that people are going to be learning in their life. Even emotionally, we're going to also touch those areas. So all the areas that I mentioned that makes up a person, all of them, we are going to be touching everything.
Karis, what are you most excited to learn from what we've heard?
I'm excited to learn on how I can discover more, or how I can easily discover more. One thing I look forward to, I don't know why I keep on talking about it, is networking, because really, networking really helps. At the youth convention, you would find creators, you find musicians, you can find business people. We have a lot of them around us. Maybe you might not even know until that day you discover, wow, this person is what I need. So really, I really look forward to meeting people.
That's what you said is so true. Like, everybody we're going to meet are going to be future presidents, future ambassadors, future powerful ministers of God, future apostles. So we should really look forward to getting to know each other as the youth, because we are the future. What happens when we're now the ones who have to lead other people? So
And you don't need
we
connection to find someone.
And I mean, if you're searching for spouse, I mean, what better place to look for than a bunch of excited, innovative, youthful people coming together to learn. So something I wanted to ask you, Mrs. Paul, if you're able to leak a bit of information, who do we expect to be speaking to us?
There are going to be a lot of great minds speaking to us. Why I use that word is that, you understand, when someone is coming to speak with you or speak to you about a area, for people we invited for this program, it's people we know that they have every resources in them to fuel you up in that area. So one of the people we are going to be seeing is Mr. David. This is someone who is going to also be helping us to look into how we can help ourselves come out from addiction. I think this is something some people face in this lifetime, when people are involved in some things that are very addictive, and they don't know how to come out of it because of the dopamines and so on. So this person is going to also speak in-depthly about these things. And we have other amazing people. I don't know if I should spill out all the names of people who are going to speak, but and me personally, I'm also going to be speaking at the event, and we all the speakers are great speakers that are going to be giving us in-depth insight into things that we need to know, you know. So, and another person we have, let me call one more person's name. Another person we're going to be seeing is Dr. Sheila.
Wow.
Dr.
If you remember Dr. Sheila from our Faith
fire,
Formation,
right? So she's going to be teaching us how to grow our resources.
With only 40,000
you
naira.
can do a whole lot, right?
Yeah.
People don't believe that. I think, okay, the economy is going other a little bit, but people do a lot with 40,000 naira. Of course, it's not automatically, but you invest the first 40,000, it gives you some profit, you make it, then you invest in 50,000 and something. So she's also going to be at the event trying to help us know how to generate funds, that can help us to boost those careers and those ambitions that we have. So I think be expectant of a lot of things.
Thank you so much, Ma. As we've heard, we'll have lots of different speakers who are going to be speaking to us about many different areas of our lives. So if you're seeking for advice, for knowledge and discovery in your spiritual life, in your financial life, in your academic life, even any areas that you're expecting to have more information in, come expectant, come ready with your questions for the speakers. Come in any area that you have questions, come ready with your questions. And another question I want to ask is, because I know that we're going to hear a lot of incredible words coming from a lot of different people, but what other activities will we be doing apart from just sitting down and soaking in all the wisdom?
Anyways, when youths are gathered, they need some excitement. Yes. So there would be a lot of games, activities for us to,
Would there be food?
Of course.
There's going to be food, definitely. When we have these activities, when we're talking about the youth that are expected to be at the program, if you are like 45 or 40 and you come, and when you play games with people who are younger than you, you still feel like, okay, I still have some energy in me, and I'm definitely a youth. So when we have games, we have plays, we have dramas, we have music, it's going to be fun all through. So with the music, the activity, the drama, the refreshments we are getting, all those things, you won't be the same when it's done.
The refreshments we're getting, it won't be the same.
It won't be the same?
Amen. Come ready to eat, don't come full. Come ready to eat spiritually and physically. So we're coming to the end of the segment, and I just want to thank us all for the time that we've spent together. I don't know if you have any final words for us, Mrs. Paul.
Okay. I'm so happy to be here. I'm really so happy to be here talking about discovery, because this is one part of people's life that they don't feel that is there, but it's there. It's a word, but it's a word that carries a lot of weight. So it's a pleasure being here to talk about this, and I believe that if we try, those watching from home or wheresoever you're watching from, that you can try to look into these areas of your life, I believe that you will experience a change. So it's a good thing.
Thank you so much. Okay, any last words for us?
Well, I'm happy for this opportunity, and I really would like to urge us. You can't learn everything, and you also can't learn too much. So don't think I already know a lot. God gave you a brain, so He knows the capacity He gave you. So definitely, you can't overlearn. So continue exploring, continue discovering. That's what God put you on earth to do. He gave you a call, and you have to discover what you are to achieve that call and get towards that call God has given you. And once again, please, our youth conversion. It's on the 22nd of April. You don't need to pay, don't worry. It's at our branch in Lefkosha Cafe, Maryland. Please, don't miss it. Thank you so much.
Tell someone to tell someone, and call your neighbor. It's going to be exciting, fun, full of life. Just come and have fun in God's presence. Thank you.
That's amazing. If I'm to have any final words, it's that we should all be always ready to learn. There's always something new to learn. Don't be part of the fast food generation. Be ready to go through the process of discovery. Thank you so much for joining us. We've come to the end of the segment. Just a few announcements is that this Friday will be our communion service at every branch. The information will be on the screen. So in every branch, tomorrow will be our communion service at 6 p.m. And our Sunday services remain the same for Le Chateau, which will be at 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. And Ozonkoi will be at 9:30. Chatakoi will be at 11. Magusa will be at 10, and Lefkosha will be at 11. And I cannot emphasize the youth conference enough. I cannot emphasize enough. Please join us for the youth convention on the 22nd of April this month, next week, Saturday. It will be in Lefkosha at Cafe Marilyn. Please do your best to come. We are very excited and we are very expectant, and we want you to come and share in the blessings that we'll be having. So thank you so much for joining us today. Stay tuned for next week. Next week, Friday, we'll be coming back here with another innovative, interesting topic to share with you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning in today. I'm so glad that you made it this far. Drop CCE in the comment section below. Yes, type CCE in the comment section below. And we have something spectacular for you next week. Ensure you like, you share, you subscribe. Tell your family, tell your friends, tell everybody you can that something special is coming your way next week. I'm happy to have you. I'll see you next week.